Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Friday and the weekend. I'm Mark Trowbridge, and well, our chamber is proud to always partner with Miami's community newspapers and Grant Miller. And this isn't our regular day, but I've spent the first part of this week up in D.C., and I feel like you missed me terribly.
I missed you. My wonderful Tuesdays. Now it's Fabulous Friday with you.
It is a fabulous Friday, and we'll talk a little bit about the trip.
Right now? Who's singing?
This is Katy Perry singing Last Friday Night because we're getting ready for the weekend. And
you got big plans, I guess.
I have very limited plans for two reasons. One, I'm tired. I don't travel as well as I used to. It's a little more cumbersome. And we had 3 very full days up in D.C. meeting with partners and elected officials. And then I spent a full day doing retail visits in Georgetown.
What do you mean
Eastern
retail?
Market.
Oh, it's shopping.
No, I wouldn't say it's shopping. I'm not
retail
in the market right now. I'm trying to calm my spending a little bit.
So who do you guys meet with in D.C.?
So we flew up on Sunday and had a full day on Monday. We met with the U.S. Chamber that morning, got a briefing on immigration, the infrastructure bill, small business, and economic outlook on issues of inflation. So I called it, kind of the 3 I's: inflation, immigration, and infrastructure. And then we met with the Undersecretary of Mr. Dennis Alvord, who is overseeing what's called the Economic Development Agency. They deal with everything related to COVID recovery, but they also deal with things like hurricanes and other natural disasters, which of course we contend with here. Then we met with the Census Bureau to talk about the upcoming 2023 economic census, which is done every 5 years. And that's where your local business can talk about what's going on with you. Are you hiring? Are you growing? Are you investing? Are you thinking of relocating? What's going on in your industry trends? That's every 5 years. Most people know the decennial census that counts people. Then we had a meeting at FIU in D.C.
What do you mean? They got a campus?
They have a campus office. Yeah.
Oh, an office. They don't have students.
There are students there who are, I think, doing internships in government relations. So.
Okay, who else?
And then we met with the city's lobbying team from Becker, Mr. Omar Franco and his team, and got a briefing on, what to expect when we were up on the Hill the next day. And then Tuesday was all legislative meetings. We started 9 a.m. with Congressman Jimenez, very gracious with his time. Talked a lot about, his first year and a half up there and how things have been going. Then we met with Senator Marco Rubio.
Wow, that's impressive.
He gave us a lot of time, talked a lot about infrastructure. And really, we wanted to thank him because he was chairing the Small Business Committee when COVID began. And if it wasn't for him, I don't think a lot of businesses would have been able to tap into the PPP money as quickly. And then we had a chance to sit with Mario Diaz-Balart. I want to thank my friend Yami Reyes for working with us to get that meeting. And then we had meetings with staff with Congresswoman Salazar and Senator Scott.
Well, speaking about Mario Diaz-Balart, his brother...
Lincoln?
No, the other brother, the TV guy.
Oh, Miguel. No.
Jose.
He's like an anchor, not just a TV guy.
He's an anchor 2 major things. He's in Miami and in New York. He flies up there. He does 2 national.
Yeah, he can fill in sometimes, I think, for NBC.
Yeah, pretty impressive family.
What are you and Michael doing these days?
Oh, yeah, we're just trying to keep up with
the Millers.
So
where did our producer go?
So Savannah Bananas. Are you going to their baseball thing?
I went to the game last Friday.
Come on! Pete, tell us about it.
So if you don't know about the Savannah Bananas,
everybody knows that.
They are a marketing juggernaut. So we first discovered them this summer when we went up to Savannah for our boys' weekend. And maybe our producer is back. Where were you?
I was getting chocolate milk.
Meanwhile, I'm dehydrating in front of all of you. Is there a vending machine here?
Yes. I'm going to give you some money to go get water for Mark.
Is there a vending machine?
Yep. Come over here.
Well, what's in the vending machine? Okay. Maybe I want something else.
Okay, go ahead.
All right. So We went to their game. So first of all, every single game
It's baseball.
is sold out. Yeah, it is baseball. They're college kids, maybe right out of college. So they're young. They're playing in what I would say is kind of like a summer league, but this time they took it on the road. So they were down in West Palm. So first of all, West Palm has a beautiful municipal stadium that
Beautiful.
the Astros and the
Roger
Nationals change.
Is that Roger Dean?
No, I think it's just called the ballpark at West Palm, and it's
Right.
where the Nationals and the Astros spring train. Beautiful. Sold out, of course. So we get there, and we went up, midday on Friday. I
Who's
wanted
we?
to. My nephew, my niece, and my friend Denise.
Okay, I just want to get clear. You didn't invite me. You know I'm a baseball.
I know, but you're always busy on a Friday. We left at 1:30, and I had to go home and interview a new cleaning lady. I mean, Friday was crazy.
Speak about. So finish Savannah, but I want to hear about your cleaning lady.
Yeah, so
how do you lose a
we
cleaning
get
lady?
up there and we go and visit the Hive, which is a retail space. We went to an outlet mall and did a little shopping. I wanted to get some workout gear at the Under Armour outlet.
Ooh,
and then I went to the original Penguin outlet. So I didn't used to be able to wear those clothes.
Why?
Because they only ever went up to like a XX.
And what do you wear now?
A XX. So I bought 3 really awesome new Penguin shirts that were on sale because they were at the outlet. At Under Armour, I got a new pair of tenny boppers, and I got, some performance gear for,
So Savannah Bananas, they come out, the players participate. It's not like there's
no, they're as much a part of the marketing as
it is brilliant.
And they're decent players.
Right.
And so I was reading online during the game because baseball. So they weren't playing a traditional 9 inning game. They were playing something that they call banana ball. So they're playing another team, and it's whether you win the inning. So it's kind of like Ryder Cup. I won the hole. I have the hole.
Right.
And then they play.
And
they play a 2-hour clock.
And it was sold out.
Completely sold out.
It's unheard of.
So I would say like little league teams were all there. There were a lot of dads that were like, banana dad.
Were they dressed up in the banana outfits and everything?
Tons of people in costume and gear. And, I have my shirt and hat from when I was up at the game. You know what the most popular item is at the gift shop?
What?
Tidy whitey with a big banana on the front of it, like an iron-on. They can't keep them in stock. So this guy who owns the team he owns a marketing company as well. And they're so smart. So the first inning, they do the world's fastest and slowest relay. So a Savannah player and an opposing team player run as fast as they can.
Between innings.
Yes, is the bottom of the first. And they tag a toddler. And then the toddler is the slowest part. So one of the toddlers just sat in the grass. The other toddler kind of, toddled over to his...
No water?
The vending machine is super empty. There wasn't water.
I'm literally dehydrated, and you're handing me salty items.
I'll go figure something out.
Junior, are you not in the military? You are the quintessential I'm leaving you man down.
All right.
So, the game's on a clock, so it's 2 hours. The Bananas won 4 and 3. So they won 4 innings. The other team won 1, and I think there were 3 innings left to go. So very cool. Very cool. So,
all right, let's talk about business.
Really? I thought you wanted to talk about my cleaning lady.
Oh, yeah, your cleaning lady. How do you lose a cleaning lady?
Well, I had a cleaning lady, the same woman, Lucia, love you, miss you, who was retiring and getting a hip replacement. And then I went with my niece and nephew's cleaning lady, and she cleaned my house for about a month and a half. And
how many days a week?
1 day a week. And then I heard she fired me. I thought she fired all of us.
Oh.
But my niece was quick to clarify that no, I was fired.
Wow.
She felt like it was too much work for what I was paying her. Meanwhile, she quoted the price. So anyway, I was telling another friend of mine, and she's like, "Oh, we have a great cleaning lady." So that woman came 2 days later. I interviewed her. She looked at the house. She quoted me. She comes every Monday now. And, we've got some things to work on because I wasn't here this Monday. But, I like having, someone help me do that. I'm not good at that.
You're not.
I'm not good at that. I need them to help me organized.
But you also have a dog.
Yeah, so once a week is good, and he's at the end of his life, and so he can be a little sheddy and a little ornery and everything.
Wow.
I wasn't sure he was gonna still be with us after my trip because he was having a tough weekend before I left.
And who watched the dog?
I have a dog watcher that is connected to my vet.
Comes to your house?
No, I take him there. So that's getting harder to kind of transport him. Like this morning, we were out for a walk. It's like 5:50 in the morning, and he's just, he's old. So the biggest exertion of energy is eating, going to the bathroom, and climbing back up the 2 steps to go back in the house.
2 steps.
3, I guess, if you count the threshold.
Did he?
Oh my God! I think he had to actually get water in a red Solo cup. Ladies and gentlemen, Junior, serves our country in the Coast Guard.
Thank you very much.
And we're trying to get him a date. So you can win a date with Junior. That is his nickname. He doesn't actually like being called that. But I've forgotten his real name. I think it begins with an I, right? Oh, Ilion. Ilion. He's very lovely. I think he's pretty fit. And I think he's romantic.
Okay.
Grant, all of those things describe you too.
Thank you. Wow. Flattery will get you everywhere.
I know. Oh, Junior, it's cold. I was worried that you scooped it right out of the commode.
Okay. So let's talk about Coral Gables Chamber.
Let's.
The last event was what?
So we had 2 events on Wednesday while I was away. We had a Reconnect luncheon at Morton's, and we had a really fun wind down Wednesday at UM.
I didn't know
And
about
we
that.
partnered with their, I talked about it the week before. We partnered. It was FIU versus UM.
Right.
And we had like VIP tickets. And I think we ended up with 30 or so folks that went to that. And what was very cool is that it was more of a social gathering because the game ended 17-1.
Okay.
UM was on a hot streak. So you're so sweet. Thank you.
Who is that? Who's that?
I don't know, but she's beautiful. And I love anybody that pays a compliment first thing in the morning. So, yeah. So, and now I'm back. We've got a Chamber Engagement 101 happening right now. I wish we had a live feed into the Chamber conference room. And I've got a meeting with our nominating committee.
Nominating for what?
For the Chamber board. And then I've got lunch with a past chair. And then I'm having
Who?
Bob Schaefer.
Bob Schaefer.
Bob Schaefer. He
many
also
years
is our insurance broker. Bob would have been chair in, let's see,
20 years ago?
longer.
Wow.
Because I've been at the Chamber 16, and it would have been 17, about 18? No, maybe 18
Oh,
years
that was
ago.
close.
I think he was the chair
Can we talk about the business?
right before Neil Linden. I have to double check
Can
that.
we talk-
19 years.
The Women Business Award. Can we talk about that?
Yeah, because I don't think we've had a show since then. Because
No.
that was on the Wednesday, and we did the show on Tuesday.
Let's talk about it. It was one of, if not one of the best events in the county.
Oh, you're very sweet. That event is terrific. So it's the Businesswomen of the Year, sponsored by Equitable Advisors. And, we've worked with Louis Chiappi and his team, probably going on 20 years. And when I got to the Chamber, one of the things that I was tasked with doing was, kind of re-energizing some of our programming and, monetizing some of our programming. We were clearly not taking full advantage of the opportunity to monetize. So that event held in March was just part of the Good Morning Coral Gables.
Right.
So, before the keynote speaker, the committee chair would give up and they would get up and they would give 3 awards, community, philanthropy, and corporate. And, it was a nice event. I think we did it 2, maybe 3 years. And, I went to the board and then I went to Louis and I said, listen, I think we can do better for this. One, it doesn't feel like we're celebrating women because then the rest of the program might be something else. Two, 3/4 of the people that were at the breakfast weren't there to
Hear the women.
support and celebrate the awards. So, we do 5 or 6 award programs throughout the year. And this is my favorite because it's an opportunity to celebrate individuals, celebrate women. And the one thing that is fascinating is, the women are so supportive of each other. Even if they don't win, they get up, they're gracious, they cheer for each other.
It was pretty exciting.
It can get a little raucous. So
yeah, and
I love it. And we honored 12 different women and organizations.
The MC was
Pam Giganti,
who's prettier in person.
Oh, she's lovely. She's just a lovely person. She was on NBC 6 here locally for a long time, and now is not only in this space but very involved, as you might imagine, with supporting incredible causes throughout the community. So she did our event on Wednesday, and then she was doing another event like that weekend. She was the MC. So she is in demand. How's that Nutri-Green bar?
Okay. I didn't eat breakfast this morning because I worked out.
I'm with you, brother. I'm with you.
I was running late. Okay, so
it's exhausting, right? I don't think I've ever really.
You want to compete?
Like, what do you consider?
What?
What do you consider benching? Like, is that when you're laying flat on your back or on an incline?
No,
and you're just pushing it up once?
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much.
So the bar's like 45.
That's correct.
I don't think I do that much. I think I do like 105. But I'm doing reps. I'm doing 30 reps.
Here's the difference. Mark's, how old are you?
53.
I'm 65. And you want 195? And you're 19. Do 190?
20.
And you bench
He
195?
doesn't know his age.
You want to put money on it?
Money on what?
You want to, who could outbench? You and me?
Oh, you already benched more than me.
Oh, okay.
You benched like 225, no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
There's so much. I can smell the testosterone.
Right now.
It's ridiculous. Yeah, I was watching a snap of my one of my young nephews who's I think he's 19 and he's in the army. And he always is posting like his workouts and stuff.
Oh.
And he claims that he is powerlifting 505.
How much does you weigh?
Dylan probably weighs 240.
Yes, he's doing it. My older son does 650.
I mean, I watched it. First of all, he has to wear like a belt, right?
Right.
So I feel like if not, your intestines will just explode. And these weights are so thick; they're like orange.
They're different colors.
And then he went to the desk, so he's writing all of this to get something because the last plates were falling off.
Okay.
And they wouldn't give him whatever he asked for, some kind of band.
Right.
Because they said that the amount that he was benching was too dangerous.
It is. It is dangerous.
And so, the first time he didn't get it pulled up, but the second time he did. That's your son?
That's 650.
How big his legs are.
That's 650.
That is 650?
Yeah.
Holy crap. He just literally pulled that up like it was,
Right.
a Twinkie.
Oh, that's what he loves. Okay, let's talk about the chamber. Let's go back to
Amazing.
the chamber. We have
What are we benching over there?
195. He's proud of it.
All right, well, good for you,
Hey,
Junior.
Doctor's Hospital Run coming up soon.
Super excited. Erica's been working on this with Anna, and of course, our race director is Frankie Ruiz, the beloved race director of the Miami Marathon, does our race. It's our 25th anniversary. Our title sponsor, all 25 years, has been Doctors Hospital. So thank you so much to Jose Romano, of course, Javier Hernandez-Lichtel, and the entire team at Doctors and Baptist. And, we're capping it at 500 runners, but you'll get a commemorative 25th anniversary medal. You'll get a commemorative T-shirt, and you can run the 5K or the 10K. We know that a lot of people like to do a little longer training run, and so we're one of the few organizations that does a 5K, 10K.
Now,
So it's Saturday, April 23rd. It's at 7 a.m. We're going 30 minutes earlier, just so that it's a little bit cooler and to get you out of there by, 8 o'clock.
well, Frank Ruiz, everybody knows him as a track guy, but, he's world-renowned high school track coach at Berlin.
He is the cross-country coach.
Right. He's won a bunch of them.
I think they're on like 7 or 8 in a row. You know, I met Frankie when he was a student at FIU. I guest taught and lectured in one of his classes, and he was, as you might imagine, the curious student who came up and wanted my business card. And that was probably in the year 2000, maybe 2002. And we hit it off. And 20 years later, I mean, there are a lot of people I admire in this community, including yourself and what you have done. But Frankie is unbelievable Miamian.
He is.
He's just really special. He's really incredibly invested in Miami.
You know why?
And
Because he
even
is
on
Miami.
and even on like the worst day, it's a love affair for him. And I love him, and I'm proud of him, and I'm happy he works with us.
Speak about that for you.
April 23rd. Sign up now. Early bird rates on. You want to be sure you get in the field. And you can come out and do a 3.2, or you can do a 6.5 mile longer training run, especially if you're prepping to do a half or full.
So I'm going to skip Corey Gable's chamber. Michael Finney.
I was thinking about him when I was talking about
Exactly.
People I admire. I mean, I know many of you know, Michael passed away last Sunday very, very suddenly. And I was in DC.
He's with the Beacon Council.
He was the CEO of the Miami-Dade Beacon Council, our county's economic development organization. And I was in DC already, getting ready for our fly-in and having brunch with a friend who's from Miami who lives up there now. And I got a text from a good friend and member of ours who is like, I have something to share with you, who wouldn't typically reach out on a Sunday afternoon because, he's a family guy and, call me Monday morning. And I said, hey, I'm at brunch. I'm up in DC. And he's like, oh, I just want to share some very sad news that Michael had a heart attack this morning and did not survive it. And, when I think about Michael, I think about 3 things. He and I were serving on a committee for Miami Springs. So,
Michael Finney?
Yep. He and I are appointed by our mayor, Maria Mitchell, to look at economic opportunities, incentives, and rebuilding the business community in the Springs. We have 2 very distinct corridors, 36th Street and then the downtown circle area. And so he very graciously he lives in the Grove, very graciously agreed to serve. And I loved working with him on that because he knows his stuff. Secondly, he came into town just as we were bidding on the Amazon H2 headquarters opportunity, or HQ2. And he was just new enough and maybe naive enough to say, why aren't we doing this regionally? Like, why is this community doing their own? And why are we competing against Broward and Palm Beach? And he very deftly brought everybody together for one bid. And I think that's what got us into the top tier and then ultimately got us, a lot of good feedback. But even if we didn't get the Amazon HQ, what we got was a chance to get to know a new leader. We got the chance to understand that a collaborative approach works. We could set those egos aside. And we got to learn a lot about what our assets were in Miami-Dade County, because we had to do a deep dive into everything from talent to you name it. So, the last thing I would say is, what an elegant, kind human being. I could pick up the phone, send him an email. He was super responsive. He lives behind his wife, Gina, 3 sons. He loved to golf. He loved to walk a golf course.
He was in top shape.
He was in good shape.
Not many people at his level impressed me.
Yeah.
He impressed me from the time I met him.
I agree.
He's just the way he carried himself, how he respected everybody. And we all lose. Michigan loses.
You do.
South Florida loses. Everybody loses.
My friend Jared Davis wrote an op-ed, which is unusual, sort of following an obituary and the loss of a community leader, but it was relevant and important. And he opened with a line that said, Mike Finney was a Miamian at heart. He just maybe didn't know it till later in life.
Touche.
When he came here. And we worked a lot together the last 2 years because of COVID. He brought more small businesses and the resources for small businesses into the Beacon Council. He worked with the local chambers like us and Eric Knowles Group, and all the way down south with South Dade Chamber, all the way north. He had just been named to the Atlanta Federal Reserve Board of Directors here in Miami. So, he was also a top mind in economic development. And, we lured him away from Michigan when he was probably going to finish his career there. He worked for the governor. I remember being told that he had been hired, and, I looked him up, and it's very impressive, what he was doing, even 5 years ago in Michigan. And being from Ohio, there's a little bit of good-natured, rub there. But he put together a program called Pure Michigan.
That was brilliant.
It's brilliant on many levels. But the thing that I extracted from it, and he and I had many conversations about this because I just am fascinated by, marketing, programs that are genius for states. It's hard to market a whole state. And what Michigan did was said, Pure Michigan applies to our visitor community and to our recruitment to businesses and our retention programs. It's Pure Michigan. And, they have a very different climate than we do. So they have summer activities and winter. We have year-round tropical paradise. And actually, Governor Rick Snyder tweeted that when, Mike decided to leave Michigan and come to Florida, he said, part of me thought it was so he could work year-round on his golf game, not just during the summer months in Michigan. But
it was an antique car guy.
Yeah, he tinkered with his, I think it was a Corvette.
Right.
So, funny story. Michigan, played in the Orange Bowl here this year. It was a big game because, it was a semifinal. And so, of course, Mike brought a lot of friends and family, because they're all Michigan folks. And I ran into him at the game, and I said, Michigan. And he goes, how can you not be rooting for Michigan? You're from Ohio, and, they were playing Georgia. Georgia was, this was their year.
You had you were cheering for Georgia. That's part of your club.
True, I vote for and cheer for the SEC, but he almost got me to take a moment, and then I remembered how much I disliked Jim Harbaugh. So it all worked out. But those were the things. Like he could be serious-minded. He could be technically genius, and he could be, with a nice laugh. And it's very sad when people leave our community. It's even more sad, obviously, when we lose their talent and they lose their life. So,
well, with Michael Finney's family, we thank you for letting us have him for a few years.
Got here just about 5 years ago, May of 2017. So, and they had, agreed to work to extend his time with us, which is not always a given, because think about it. That's a public-private partnership. So you have 13 commissioners. You've got a strong mayor. You've got, the interests of private business. You have a pretty large board. I sat and sit on that board of directors as a chamber leader and coalition chair, co-chair. And I will tell you this, that's going to be a tough role to fill in the community.
Absolutely. All right, let's move on. Tro knows. What do you got? The CEO recap? What's that all about?
Yeah, so we did a Tro knows right before I left town for our fly-in. We had Brian Plow from Gentera Precision Health. And, they built a beautiful new space at 550.
Can they fix this?
They can fix your waddle. We can get those lines out. What they're doing is let you rest in a hyperbaric chamber. Helps you with your oxygen intake, with the amount you work out. and the wear and tear you put on your body, because you're like me, you're go, go, go. And you have big appetites.
I don't like a big one. Okay.
So the funny thing about that is that Junior brought three things of snacks.
But you're on a professional diet. I'm
I
not.
appreciate that, but you literally wolfed down. I didn't even get a sniff of that.
Okay.
Did you eat all 3 bags?
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. We got you got the Diamond Awards May 6th.
We do. So what's really exciting is, the month of April is chock full of events. So in addition to our regular cadre of events like Reconnect and Wind Down Wednesday
Good
and
morning.
Tro Knows, we have Good Morning Coral Gables, we have Impact, and we have our Women's Business Network luncheon, a trustee reception on the 12th, a trustee luncheon on the 27th. We also have done the fly-in this month. Mentioned the big 5K, April 23rd. You want to sign up now. Make sure you get in the run. It's the 25th anniversary on the 23rd of the month. But we're also working towards May, and we've got National Small Business Week, first week of May, and we have our Small Business Summit
What
on the
restaurant
6th.
are you picking? And that restaurant, you always pick a business that you have the small business thing at. Last year you had a jewelry, 2 years of
Oh,
jewelry.
you're talking about Small Business Saturday.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
that's not till November. So this is our summit. It's a half-day program. 7:30 breakfast over at the Art Cinema. 8 o'clock start, brought to you by Sir and Associates. And we'll have, I think it's 7 different speakers. So we've got everything from an economic outlook from Dr. Tony Villamil. We've got an update from the U.S. Chamber on small business and infrastructure and how you can tap into some of those dollars even as a small business. We have a program on leadership development. We're doing a program on HR, a program on crypto and cryptocurrency. And then we've got one other speaker on making your business more accessible virtually, e-commerce especially.
Speak about e-commerce, your Instagram. Every week, it looks like you're adding up between 100 and 150 new people.
I don't know if it's that high, but it's definitely growing.
Morgan, you're doing
bit.
a great job wherever you
Morgan
are.
and Christine are very focused on that, and I think it's growing a little bit every week. But, we're very focused on content. So, Monday, it's a motivational quote. Tuesday, it's the lineup for the week. Wednesday, we're posting something maybe that you've done or that we've done in-house. Thursday, event recaps as they happen. Friday, it's what's coming and what's to do for the weekend. Like, we're very, very committed to being as informative and engaging with our businesses and our members as possible.
Okay. Membership recruitment. What was your goal for March?
Our goal every month is to be around 22 to 25. It really depends on the mix, but we want to have 3 to 4 new trustees. In March, we had 7.
And then
So that's a high watermark for the year. I think the largest month before that was 6, 28 or 29 new members. So just through the first quarter of 2022,
90 new members.
We're close to 90 new members. That's right. We're right there. If you just carry that through, that puts you at over 300, which is what we did last year, 337. So, we just wrapped up the 7th month. So
It's, by the way, if you come to Coral Gables Chamber of Commerce and get involved, your business will be successful.
I think it'll be poised for success. You're a key ingredient in that as an individual. So like, you are present, you're engaging, people know you and your brand. If I say, tell me about what you know about Miami's community newspapers, they certainly know the newspaper. They know that you and Michael are brothers in a family business.
Right.
They know a lot about, this type of programming, not just us, but others. I see my friend Orlando getting ready to come in from Save. It's Pride Week here.
It's Pride Week every week at community
Miami-Dade
newspapers.
County. I went to an event last night at the Perez Art Museum. Thank you, Alan Newman, for the invite. Sarah Artacona was my date. And I met some really cool people. So this morning I'm at the gym. It's 6:45.
How sexy.
And this guy comes up to me. He goes, were you at the Perez Art Museum last night? And I said, yeah. He goes, oh, I was there with my boyfriend. And then he brings the boyfriend over and I meet them. Now, they've been working out there as long as I have, which I hit my 8-month anniversary tomorrow.
Very.
And yeah, it's 8 months of going 3-4 days a week consistently. Trainer 2 days a week consistently. And the cool thing is that I've seen them in the gym, but never connected with them because they take the alpha class, which is a little bit
Yeah,
intense.
but they're younger than you.
They're fitter than I am.
Oh, okay.
I'm not sure, but they come over and said hello, and that's how small Miami is, how small the community is, and then the Pride Parade's on Sunday, and that's always a lot of fun. I go out and help decorate.
That's
the
on Miami
bus.
Beach?
It is. Oh.
I remember last year you saw our friend there, or the year before.
Mhm.
So
It was only October because they postponed it. So Miami's unusual because they do Pride in April because it's too hot in June when it normally is in Berlin and Toronto and the rest of the world. So they do it in April. They had to postpone it from last April to October, and it was in October. So there's been 2 Prides in like 6 months.
it's great.
It's kind of like what we did with our Businesswomen of the Year,
All right, we got to wrap it up. So, what's a good word for about Coral Gables Chamber of Commerce?
So the good word always is about you. And as I like to say on this program, there are a lot of chambers out there, a lot of choices, and you have to find the right organization that fits you. It may not even be a chamber. It may be a business networking type organization, but do something for you and your business this year. It's not too late. We've just entered the second quarter of 2022, and maybe you're looking at those Q1 numbers and they're a little bit soft. We were dealing with Omicron the first 30 to 45 days of the year, and we're still worrying about fourth boosters and making sure that folks are not letting their guard down. We're going to manage this as a chronic disease for the rest of our normal lives, I would think. But you want to be involved in an organization. Do it for you personally. Work on feeding your soul and do it for your business. I guarantee you come through the doors of our chamber, you're going to be greeted very warmly and welcomingly. Our staff is really committed to making you feel connected and helping you make contact. But you've got to do the lift with you. Right now, there's 25, 30 new members of ours sitting in our conference room learning how to best navigate the chamber. And that's something we do, even if you're not a member and you want to get to know that. We've been doing that monthly during COVID. 1, there's just a tremendous amount of need. And 2, there's a tremendous amount of interest in our chamber. I'd put us up against any chamber in the country, in terms of the number of new businesses and businesses that have come back to our chamber. 337 did that with us in 2022, and we're already approaching 100 through the first, 3 months and 9 days right here in 2022. So obviously there's something good going on at our chamber. I think it begins and ends with our amazing board, our cadre of programs, our committed and dedicated staff. But I also think we're incredibly outward facing. We're here with you every week. We're out with our businesses. We are not hidden away. And we have never closed a single day since COVID began. And I'll finish with this. Politics aside, when we're meeting with our elected officials, the first thing we do is we say thank you. So I say thank you to each and every one of you. And I thank Senator Rubio as we sat in his office on Tuesday morning for making sure that businesses had access to the PPP, that additional dollars went into that second round, third round. He made sure that nonprofits had access to that as much as for-profits did, and stood up and fought for businesses. We're looking right now to see if we can get some additional money in the Restaurant Revitalization Fund, the RRF, because that went really fast in round 1. And so we're pushing that. But if you know a member of Congress or their staff, talk to them. They want to hear from everyday business folks. What they love about our chamber and our trips to DC is not seeing me. It's seeing the small business owner, the immigration attorney, the business banker, the healthcare specialist, folks that are doing the heavy lift and have been essential in business all along. So that's my long-winded pitch to say, join your local chamber. And if you choose us, we're going to be honored and privileged and take good care of you.
Have a great day.
Happy Friday.